Last year we commissioned a work with our artist DeCaires Taylor, who started an underwater sculpture park here in Grenada. He completed the installation of the Coral Carnival last year, and we figured that, Carriacou and Petit Martinique, it was due for them to have a marquee attraction. With them having wonderful, beautiful waters, excellent beaches and excellent diving, we figured that having an underwater sculpture park in Carriacou and Petit Martinique would draw a lot of visitors to that destination. So the work was commissioned again in October of last year. Jason started, he went to Carriacou and Petit Martinique. He did scans of children up there, actual children, in both Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And they were used then as the children that you would see in the boats behind me. The theme of this pretty much came from an IMF article that just talked about, the fragility of these economies and the lives of those. Because obviously with the sea levels rising, those who make the living by the sea will be affected. With the sea temperatures, the ocean temperatures warming up, stronger storms will be coming our way. And as these stronger storms come our way and as sea levels rise, the issue you end up ultimately having is that the future of these children are going to be affected. Coincidentally, the passage of Hurricane Beryl demonstrated the role that this is not just rhetoric. The fact is, these children standing behind me in these boats are now actually homeless. They've lost their homes. Their parents have lost their homes and their livelihoods. And now it's really sending a powerful message to the world that climate change is not about an issue about the future, but an issue for right now.
My work has always centered on making casts of people, generally local people that live in the community. And when I started here working in Grenada almost 20 years ago, that was what I based my work on, actual making life casts of real people living here. And so I wanted to continue that with this installation, and I wanted to represent some of the community from Carriacou and Petit Martinique. There's around 30 sculptures. They're all designed on types of origami boat. So each one is a slightly different formation, a different fold. And I wanted to sort of pay homage to the amazing boat building tradition that takes place in Carriacou. But I also wanted to create this sort of flotilla or armada of boats that represents fragility. And I like the sort of metaphor that, the children were moving forward, but in a quite a sort of, in a fragile landscape. And that this work hopefully kind of embodies that. I mean, for me, this is the first time that I've made an installation about a theme like climate change, and actually it's become, so real that it's actually impacted the implementation of the work. So all of these were meant to be constructed in Carriacou. They were meant to have been in the water by now. So we've had to adjust things, and that's why we built them here in the south of Grenada. But I'm excited to, eventually take them all over and install them, and I'm really, really pleased how these have all turned out.
In terms of the dive market, we recognise that this is one of the pillars of growth for us as a destination. And according to DEMA, there are actually 3 million US divers at the minute, and that's expected to grow to 16 million by 2030. In terms of their spend, again, they're currently at approximately 4,000 million, and that has a growth of 10% each year over the next 10 years or so. So we recognise that, again, this is an important point of differentiation for us as a destination. We're not just looking at marketing, but we're also looking at product differentiation. And again, looking at the historical perspective, we've seen that the first underwater sculpture park, that has done significantly well, and it's also allowed us to expand the cruising sector.